Good morning, my name is Lori. Welcome to We Are Quilters, my channel here on YouTube. Today we are going to build a block Ladies Aid album from the Maggie Malone book. I'm sure we'll circle back to that later on because that book has so much to offer. I have had some feedback on the Build a Block Wednesdays. Most people love the fabric selection time, but some people, not so much. And that's okay. That's okay. So I am going to put in chapters so people who don't want to watch me paw through the bins, they can easily find the space to fast forward to. Now, it helps me out if you watch the whole thing. It increases my minutes. It also helps me out if you like and you subscribe. Let's get to it. Let's go. Good morning. Here is our block Ladies Aid album. Now this block can be made in so many different ways because of these 4 flying geese. I am going to, since this is scrappy, I am going to use half square triangles for the first way I construct it. I'm going to make this a 6.5 inch block so that I can use up some scraps. That means I'm going to need 4 2.5 inch squares for the corners. I'm going to need 8 half square 1.5 inch blocks. And I'm going to have to be cognizant of my pairs because you see these are white and these are different color, but it's scrappy, so I'm only going to try to control that a little bit. I need a center square, 1 center, 2.5 inch block. And then I need pieces for out here. So these ones will be 4 1.5 by 2.5 inch rectangles. And that should take care of all the pieces for a 6.5 inch. Now, I will tell you that if you go to my blog that I release at the same time, if you go to my blog, www.wearequilters.com, there will be a PDF chart for other sizes. And those other sizes for this block are going to be 9 inch or 9.5 inch unfinished and 12.5 inch unfinished, so that you can see what size pieces, unfinished. Let's try unfinished. Helps if you can spell. Unfinished. So that way you can make the block in other sizes without having to calculate the size pieces that you need. If you prefer to make the flying geese units, which normally I would if I were cutting things, I would prefer flying geese units. But for today, like I said, I have an abundance of these 1.5 inch pre-trimmed, ready to go pieces. So that is what I'm going to use for today. So let me get out the pieces and start rooting around. I'm thinking red for February. And I sorted these by 2 dark pieces, kinda, some cool colors and a dark piece. And then these were warm colors. Ooh, I've zoomed way in there. So I know from rooting around in here the other day that I have some pinks that would go pretty well. They're a little darker. And I have some reds that would work pretty well. And some of these lovely little toilet paper, and they look like flames. I think that would work if I was going with red. And then these little strawberries too. So let me lay these down. These little strawberries are cute. And there's enough of those. I'm going to go with those, I think. Well, those have such different backgrounds. More of a white on white and a, yeah. So I think I'm going to go with the strawberries, just for fun. Now, in that pattern, they showed that this kind of matched that. I don't think it's going to today, because it would either have to be toilet paper or strawberries, and I don't remember seeing any of those. But I do remember seeing pinks and reds. Just going to yoink some of these right out of here. And you know, since it's scrappy, it doesn't always have to be the same thing. That has way too much yellow. That's very pretty. Too bad there's not more of that. Oh, looky there. Pinks. I think that we will do that. Look at that yellow. Could switch right over and do a yellow block. And now I'm going to need some background fabric for this part of the block. And I need one square in the middle that's sort of light. I think I'm going to go to the box of 2.5-inch strips. I'm not seeing what I want, so let me switch. There's not much in here. This one is kind of a lame little box. I think this would work though. Or even the pink would work. And when I get to making a bigger block, a 12-inch block, this could also be cut to make a 12-inch block. That would be great. Those are all pretty dark. That one's light, but it's got big flowers. So I think I'm going to go with, that's kind of purpley. When I hold it next to that, ooh, it's not quite what I'm looking for, but this works. So I think I will go with this for the center and for the other pieces. I need to go to the cutting table. I'll be right back in a minute. This 1.5-inch strip will be great to cut those pieces. I think I'll use this instead. Went over to the cutting table and I decided to bring the little mat back over here. And while I was over there, here's what I found. Isn't that a great strip? So I think instead of using this strip, I think I will just choose a different center, one of these two, out of the box. And I will use, or this one, and I will use this fabric to cut my little 1.5. I'm going to turn it this way. This was on the cut pile, as you saw. And I will cut 1.5 by 2.5 very quickly. And then I will lay the block out. So let's lay this out. Let's start with that in the center. This poor little cutting board has seen better days. And I want all my outside pieces to be the red. Let's lay this out correctly. then the lovely little blocks. And I know it looks like it won't line up, but it will. It will line up. Oh, look how cute that little bird is there. Oh, it looks like I fussy cut it, but I did not. And then I need my pink squares to bring it all together. I know it will look better once it is assembled. Do I like that better? I think that's kind of dark. I don't know. Haven't decided yet. Maybe after I put these units together, I'll be able to make a better decision on that centerpiece. Let's get to assembling the blocks. I'm a great fan of speed piecing, so I am going to put all of these pieces in a pile so they can be speed pieced, zoom right through the machine. Be back in just a moment. Okay, I'm back here with my 4 flying geese. And oh, as I look at that, it's so busy. I think I'm going to pull those out of there and I'm going to switch them out. And I am not going to care if they match 2 and 2. I think I'm going to make, I have bunches of these little, I like that better. And I'm going to make them all 4 match. Because I can. It's my block. I can do what I want. When you make a block, you can do what you want. I think that the cohesive of the dark corners on that make that pop. I think that will be better when it's assembled. So let me get to doing some speed piecing again. Okay, I have pressed these little blocks open so they'll lay flatter. I'm going to put those in there. I think this cohesive colored ring is the important part of this block. Give me just a second to zoom these right through. Shouldn't be intimidated by small pieces. Some people I know some of my friends don't like pieces this tiny, but once they tried it, they do okay with it. So you shouldn't be intimidated by small pieces. And like I said, if you don't like the size, you can switch sizes, and the chart for sizes, for different sizes, 9.5 and 12.5 are over on my blog so that you can easily cut and not have to do too much thinking. Let me go to the iron. Be right back. I am back with my little pieces. I pressed toward the rectangle this time. Oh, look at that one. That one turned out so nice. So let me place these. That was the most perfect of the triangles. Now I need to decide before I do the 9 patch which of these centers I like best. I really like that one. Oh, that one's pretty good too. And that one, I'm going to eliminate that one. A darker brings out the birds. And the shimmery, oh, I just like those swirly, whirly things. I think, oh, it's such a hard decision. I think I'm going to go with that one because I like the contrast. So, I am not going to web as I sew. I am going to just sew. I'm going to pull the camera back just a little bit so you can see me doing both. I'm sewing 2 from each row. And I don't really web because then I feel like I'm fighting with the machine and the fabric, and this is what I know. I stuffed the first row in first, so there is the first row. I stuffed the second row in next. Let me clip it. There is the second row. And that one will need to stay there for just a moment until I sew the first row. And I am a presser between each row. There's the third row. Now I can put it down here. But I'm cutting each time because I just don't like fighting with rows stuck together and all that good stuff. So there's the first row. Second row is on the machine. Third row is here waiting to be sewn. And to eliminate confusion, I am not doing a render project on camera with you today, even though I do that when I'm on my own. So here we have all of the rows. Now I'm going to press toward the blocks. So I'm going to press this toward the middle and these top and the bottom one toward the outside. Be back in just in time to assemble the rows, and it will be done. I'm secretly seeing how long it'll take to turn that purple blob into a thread blob that I can't tell that it was once purple, like I did with my other little blobs that I know that that was not once pink. Just saying. So I've ironed that, and now I need to make sure it looks right. And the last seam, and we will be cutting. I like this cohesive color flying geese much better, much more graphic. I'll be back in a moment. I'm going to assemble a 12.5 because I can't help myself. That 12.5-inch block turned out just as beautifully, much easier to press, and here they are, both of them in their scrappy glory. I have a fantastic finish to show you on Blabfest Friday. See you then.